Crafting and Crime Daily. I am Rebecca, and you know what? I just want to take a minute, take a deep breath, grab a cup of coffee, and say thank you for all of my subscribers who listen to this show every single day. I really, really do appreciate you guys hanging in there, listening to this with me, sharing your crafts with me, and that door just closed by itself. What the? It's Halloween, right? All right, just wanted to say that. So currently, I am covering 2 live trials on YouTube. One is it's the door again. I'm watching it. I'm trying to keep the door open because there's a nice breeze, but the breeze is also making the door close. Not a ghost. So, damn it! I need to just go close it. Okay, so I'm covering the civil case of Mike Kowalski, Jack Kowalski, and Kyle Kowalski, who are suing Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital. And it's in Sarasota County. I made a mistake. I thought it was in Pinellas County. Now, Pinellas, see, Tampa's here, Pinellas is, St. Petersburg's here, Sarasota's right here. So it's Sarasota County. It's all like a triangle there. So it's all the same part of the state. Anyway, Sarasota County is where this is. Okay. So, which is why I don't recognize any of these attorneys. So I wanted to show you where I am at on this gorgeous crystal canvas art design painting. Oh, the other trial I'm covering that we will be talking about is Timothy Ferriter is on trial for falsely imprisoning his son Ronan when he was 14. Now, he's only charged with a 6-week period of time from December of 2021 through January of 2022, even though we know that he kept him in a box for 3 years in Arizona. He's not been charged with anything in Arizona. So just the conduct from the time that that family moved to Palm Beach County in December of 2021. Okay. Look, is this not beautiful? I use these cubes, little squares for the flag. I put some squares in the pumpkin, and then the floral on the bottom. This is like a painting all to itself here. It's covered with plastic. Then I've got the release papers around the edge of the plastic. This is my own artwork on the release papers that you can get at Crafts with Crashley. The link is down in the description. And there's a code that you can use too if you want to make a purchase. She just released a whole bunch of new stuff yesterday too. Okay, so we're going to put this aside because today is Craft with Me Wednesday, and during the show tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time, I'm gonna open up this little guy. It's a crochet kit that I got from Hirschner's, and it is polyester yarn. There's some polyester fiber fill in here. There's a needle in here. Instructions are in there. We're going to see if we can put this little guy together. Now, it might take more than one Wednesday. The other thing I got to do is work on my blood kit. I have so many crochet projects. My sister's going to go, another one. I started a hat for the neighbor because he smoked us some ribs, baby back ribs that were amazing. So I'm making him a hat. And he said his favorite color was pink. What? So I found a yarn that I have that's pink and gray that I think you'll really like. It's sort of a masculine, feminine type thing. And and this is a guy that's like my age, likes pink. That's pretty cool. Then what else? I'm working on a blanket for my sister. There's a oversized cowl that I want to make for myself. It's a cowl that you can like use as a hoodie if it's snowing. Because I'm wishful thinking. I want it to snow this year. We only got snow one good time last year. It happened to be over Christmas, which was amazing. But yeah, we only got it one good time last year. So I'm making a lot of stuff. This little guy is super cute. What size needle is it? Does it say? 3.5 millimeter. That's a tiny needle. I've not used a 3.5 millimeter before. Okay, so that's going to be an interesting little project. Okay, let's talk about the trials. Then we can go back to my life, should you choose to stay and hear about it. So, in the Timothy Ferriter case, so the state has completed their case. It is now the defense's turn to put on their case. They put on a witness, a psychologist who has a doctorate in psychology. She, it was her opinions. All of her opinions are based on medical records she's reviewed. She never seen this child in person. So, but she did say that it seems that he was suffering from reactive attachment disorder. And she doesn't believe that these parents, Timothy and Tracy's still, her trial is going to be next. The judge severed the trials. I don't know why. He severed the trials. They're having separate trials, even though Tracy is sitting in that courtroom with her lawyer right behind her husband. So this psychologist said she did not believe that Tracy and Timothy were doing were really maliciously trying to harm their son, um, but what they were doing was just making things worse, way worse. She was asked about her opinion with respect to the child. She said he has a very blunt affect, and then other times he will make jokes or do things that are just kind of inappropriate, like laughing inappropriately, or yeah, it's just kind of weird. And let me just say, you do not, state attorney, listen to me. Sit down. We're going to have a conversation. You do not have to object to every single word of a question. No, you don't have to object to every question. Yeah, you don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. This woman, oh my God. If she had done this to me, interrupted me 2, 3 times with every question, or can we go sidebar? Can we sit? Objection, objection. And the horrible part of it was every one of them was sustained. In other words, the judge was agreeing with the state. I would have turned around and popped her right in the mouth. Shut up and sit down. Go to your chair, sit down. You've got your verdict. They're going to come back guilty. There's nothing anybody can say that's going to overcome what they saw on that video footage. So just take your seat. Take your seat. Stop objecting. Okay. The point the state was trying to get across is that it doesn't matter how hard this child was to manage. It doesn't matter that he had this reactive attachment disorder. That's not a defense. It's not an affirmative defense. It's not a defense. You can't say, I'm going to lock him in a room. That's not a defense. And the psychologist agreed. No, I agree with you. This was the worst way possible to treat reactive attachment disorder. The worst way. But she says, I think they were trying to contain the behaviors and keep everyone in their home safe in the process. They had just had a newborn when they put him in the first box up in Arizona, where he spent the next 3 years on and off, on and off. Now, we're not saying, no one's saying he was in there 24/7, but maybe 18 out of 24 hours, he was in there pretty much all the time, unless he got to go out and do yard work or he went out to go to school. Like, he wasn't going to band practice like his other siblings. He wasn't going to participate in soccer games like his other siblings. Yeah. Now, one of the things I was waiting to hear in this trial and we haven't heard is, how is this child doing now? Now that they've removed him from these parents, removed the box was taken apart almost immediately after these charges were filed. Uh, how is he doing? Where is he? Is he in a group home? Is he in foster care? Is he in a hospital? Where is he? How's he doing? The judge has ruled that nothing can come in with respect to how he's doing now because that child has a right to privacy and he hasn't waived that right to privacy. I want to know, how's he doing? I think it's a fair question. Judge said no. So the psychologist did say that confining and isolating this child could make the condition much, much worse. And there, of course, is a risk of great physical and mental harm by what they were doing. I do not disagree with that. Now, I think the purpose of this expert was to come in and get you to feel sorry for these parents. Look what this guy get. Look what this kid is. He's got this. She said that this attachment disorder formulates usually before they're 5 years old, and she doesn't. Nobody really knows what went on with this kid before he was put in that box up in Arizona. Nobody really knows what was going on. So I mean, so it's not like he just his life started right there, but we haven't heard much before that. There's not much records, school records. There's not a lot to go on out there about how he was before that. But the psychologist explained that when you're a baby and you're crying and you're not able to soothe yourself and someone comes along and they pick you up and they cuddle you and they soothe you and you get attached to that feeling. And the kids that don't have that, if he grew up in that Vietnamese orphanage and he was having these temper tantrums or crying or whatever, babies cry, but nobody would pick him up, then he would develop this disorder because he didn't have that attachment as a baby. We saw, what was that movie? It was a real case, but it was a series. That girl that they thought she was older than she was, they said she was an adult when they adopted her, but we never really found out if she was an adult or if she was a child, but that's what they were saying was wrong with her. She had that reactive attachment disorder, and that she was always trying to kill the parents. Didn't they lock her in her room, I think? I think they did. And then that father and mother actually rented her an apartment and put her in the apartment and just brought her groceries. That's even worse than this case. But similar disorder is why I mentioned it. Let's go back to the Kowalski case. Civil case. So standard of care is a little different. Standard, it's, in the criminal case, the state has to meet their burden. They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that these parents falsely imprisoned their son, Roman. In the civil case, the Kowalskis have to prove by the greater weight of the evidence. It can just be like this. You got the scales, and if one tips just a little bit, that's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's the greater weight of the evidence, more likely than not. However you want to say it. But so the standard's a little different, a little lower in civil court. And my understanding is the Kowalskis are asking for $200 million. I started to say 200,000. No, $200 million. What would I do with $200 million? Oh my God. And I know they're going to put in evidence of a life care plan. And here's what a life care plan is: you hire an expert. There are people that do these. They put these life care plans together. that you give them a person, Maya in this case, with her disease, and they figure out what is it going to cost to take care of Maya for the rest of her life with this disease. Given the fact that we know this disease is not curable, that she's may not live a full life, that she's going to have exacerbations of this disease, what does she need to take care of herself for the rest of her life? And then they'll bring that person and put him on the stand. And I used to laugh because they would do this with car injuries, medical malpractice, babies that were brain damaged, and they would say, well, he needs equestrian therapy for the equestrian therapy. I used to laugh whenever I saw that. Meaning, we're gonna give him a pony. It's not what that means, but that's I used to laugh about it because really, come on, who does any of those people actually go and get a horse and do horse therapy? No, I don't think so. But anyway, so that's a life care planner. So they're going to put a life care planner on the stand to say, here's what she needs in the future. Here's how much it's going to cost. Here's how much it's going to cost you in the future. So my hope is whatever they do with this money, if they get money, my hope is maybe they set up a foundation, something, maybe first put away some of the money in the form of an annuity for Maya and Kyle, and then use the rest to set up a foundation in Beata's name for people wrongly accused of Munchausen's by proxy, because it goes on way more than you think in hospitals, way more than you think. And nobody wants to be wrong about it, but sometimes they are. So the Kowalskis yesterday, there was not much testimony yesterday. It was more of in fact, Jack stayed home, not feeling well, come down with a cold. Um, the kids stayed home to do homework. It was more of a, let's argue over the evidence day. So the jury wasn't there yesterday. Today they're there. The first thing they heard this morning, and I listened to it while I had breakfast, was Beata's sister. She is now living in Chicago. She moved there about 20 years ago. After her sister, way after her sister. Her sister came there when she was 16. She left communist Poland, and Poland is not communist anymore. They overthrew the government, and her father was instrumental in that. And one of the things this woman said that sort of informed Beata's way of thinking was because when she was 8 years old, Beata watched her father be arrested and taken to jail for political reasons. So she developed this heavy distrust for the government. Now, you fast forward this, the government has taken away her child, and she sees no way to get this child back, so she commits suicide. So her sister did not speak any English. Now, but she was much older when she got to this country than her sister. This is the older sister, but she waited a while before she came to the country. She's got older children. She said one of her sons is Kyle's godfather. She testified that since Beata's death, they have had very little time to visit with Jack and Maya and Kyle. And it's mainly because of the language thing. She said Beata is the one that always organized the get-togethers, and she's not there anymore. And we don't speak English; they don't speak Polish. And then at the end of her testimony, she's, well, I hope they come to the wedding. And I'm thinking, Jack, go get the interpreter. Get the interpreter. Stop her and or him, and set up a meeting with your sister-in-law. Uh-oh, that was slowpoke. He fell over. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, all the stuff fell off his back. I did promise you could come to the crochet show. We should probably put a crochet needle in here. There you go. There now, and a screwdriver, because you never know when you're going to need one of those. Tweezers. And last but not least, a pen. Okay. He's ready. If I don't knock him over again. Okay. Where was I? So that was kind of it. Of course, she said Beata was a good mother. What else is she going to say? I mean, it's her sister. Yeah, she was the best. She's a good mother. Of course, she's a good mother. That's kind of it for the Kowalskis. So I will, because there was, like I said, no witnesses or testimony yesterday. So a lot to get to today. Now, I think in the Ferriter case, what is scheduled today is that the attorneys were told to come back this morning and they would work on jury instructions. And then the judge had told the jury to come back at 1 o'clock for their closing arguments. So the jury should have that case and start their deliberations around this afternoon sometime, unless he has them just come back tomorrow and start. But if they do the closings, if they start them at 1, they could probably get enough time to deliberate to at least pick a foreman today. So we'll see, unless they want to stay through dinner. Sometimes they want to stay and get it done. And I don't think there's a lot to debate about in the boy in the box case. I really don't. We're not even close in the Kowalski case. Not even close to the state finishing, or to the plaintiff. I have to switch over to civil. We're not even close to a plaintiff finishing their case. Not even close. And then the defense, unlike criminal, this defense will put on a huge case. So the defense is going to both sides have spent a lot of money. I can tell you, a lot of money with this case. Attorneys' fees are flying. Apparently, whoever the insurance company is for this hospital has dug in their heels and said, we are not paying that kind of money. Let's go to trial. We didn't do anything wrong. Maya Kowalski was put in our facility by the government. She was, what's the word they're using? Sheltered at our hospital. But they're not taking responsibility for the people that were in that hospital working under the name of John Hopkins, including Kathy Beatty, the social worker, the risk manager, the nurses, the respiratory therapists, the residents, all of them that were working for John Hopkins, that are the face of the hospital, that were managing her isolation. Anyway, I could talk about that case all day long, but I won't. I'm going to go get ready to do some crochet today. It's crochet day. So I will be live at 7 p.m. Central Time tonight. Yes, check that out. If not, I'll see you tomorrow in Crafting and Crime Daily, where I will tell you all about the closings, and then we'll be on verdict watch for the Ferriter case. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.